There we go. Third time's a charm.
Yep, third time's a charm.
And that's why I check every single time, because if we sat here and talked for an hour and realized that it wasn't recording, I'd be a little upset.
That would not be good. But that's what this clicker is for.
That's right.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. Welcome back.
Yeah. Welcome back. This is episode 8, 9?
7 or 8.
Something like 7. That.
We're in there somewhere.
So we're gonna, go over. We had a very busy weekend.
Crazy weekend. I wouldn't even say busy. Crazy.
Even before the weekend.
Even before the weekend.
I don't think any of us had as crazy a weekend as Scottie Schefler.
No.
And I think that's where we got to start.
Yeah. Oh, how do we
That was...
I'm locked up. They won't let me out.
I saw one thing where it's like, all right, imagine waking up in the drunk tank and seeing Scottie Schefler in there. Like, I thought those were hilarious.
Imagine getting absolutely bombed the night before and you get thrown in a drunk tank and wake up and Scottie Scheffler's doing aerobic stretching.
Yeah, he said he was stretching.
So he was stretching in the jail cell.
It's crazy. So that was quite the interesting way to start.
That was Friday, right? So it happened Thursday night.
Yeah,
I
Friday.
believe.
No, it happened Friday morning.
Oh, Friday early morning. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I forget where I even was, to be honest. And somebody mentioned it. I'm like, what? There's no way.
Him.
Here's a guy, God first, then family, then golf. Like he literally said it when he won the Masters. That's how he lives his life. And I'm like, what? And then I looked it up, and it's his prison photo. I'm like, what?
What a mugshot,
right? Right.
But
it was literally on a T-shirt that day. Did you see that? They had it on T-shirt, and he walked up to the guy. He goes, "How did you get that printed so fast?" Like he was dead incredible. Serious. Yeah, he was dead ass serious. Like, how did you get that printed on there so fast?
Crazy, but it's nuts that something like that happened. And from what all the stories were, it's kind of common that they would try to avoid the traffic there.
Mm-hmm.
And
oh yeah.
Well,
he came out and said he thought he was being directed to do what he did.
Yeah, and I don't think he was meant to do
something completely illegal.
Yeah. So
it was and I'll never say anything negative about police officers, firefighters, nothing like that. But that had to be a cop on a power trip.
A little bit.
Whether he knew it was Scottie Schefler or not, because honestly, you could put Scottie Schefler in a crowd at Disney and you ain't gonna pick him out. He looks like a normal everyday guy. He's not a ridiculous athlete or anything like that, like built or anything. But I think it was a cop on a power trip.
Well, one thing I'll say is that what they had said that was traffic was stopped because there was a fatal accident.
Yes. Yeah.
So everyone was kind of on high alert and a lot, going on. I'm sure that's not what that cop wanted to be doing.
Sure. No, not at all.
Doing that, but not everybody makes mistakes. Mm-hmm. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
Some wild way to start the day.
My first look, when I called my father and told him, he goes, "What? Nuh-uh." And he Googled it really quick. He goes, "Get the hell out of here." I said, "Yeah." I said, "That man's going to be Paul Blart Mall Cop within a week. Guarantee it."
Yeah.
Guarantee it.
Dude, at first, your first thought when you see something like that is like, all right, he got a DUI or something like that.
With an athlete. That's the first thing you go to. Absolutely.
But
yep. And then when you hear that name, it's like, wait a minute now. What?
Yeah. So, I will say, after I saw that happen and found out he was going to play, put a couple bucks on Scottie.
Oh, it's hard not to. I think he shot. Didn't he shoot the best round that day?
I think so.
On Friday.
He had his best day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he ended up having his best day of the entire tournament that day on Friday.
And that's got to take a toll on you too. So I think that definitely caught up to him Saturday.
Oh, absolutely.
Saturday was his first round over par in over 40 rounds?
42. The Tiger holds I was watching it then. Tiger holds the record at 54.
That's nuts.
At 54 rounds straight, par or better. That's absolutely unbelievable. But yeah, Scottie was number 2. He had 31 or 32, and this was, and he lost it because they said he was going into the last 4, and they were like, he needs to have 3 birdies or better because he was that far above, and it was and he went par to end it, and it's that ends the streak. And of course, the announcer was like, I really don't think he cares at all about this streak or anything. I think he
No.
cares more about the fact that he kind of played himself right out of a chance at winning this.
Mm-hmm.
So, which at the end of the day, I think he was 11 back or 10 back going into Sunday. And, even with Scottie, you got to say there's a chance. But the winner was playing lights out.
Yeah.
Lights out. So the scary one who was closing on him was Bryson. So
speaking of Bryson, did you see? I guess he had tossed a ball into the crowd, and some adult grabbed it, and he was meaning to throw it to a kid, and he called them out and made the guy hand it to the kid.
no, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
I didn't see
Bryson
that at all.
definitely earned some brownie points there.
Oh,
for
so
sure.
little respect there. Absolutely.
Yeah,
He just looks like a unit of a man, though. Like he just like the way he golfs. Like he looks like he's trying to break the club in half. You ever see him putt?
he just looks like a muscled up nerd.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. And
Who doesn't know what to do with his
I watch
muscles.
his YouTube channel from time to time, and he's so analytical with everything. You know what I mean? But yeah, true. So, but he has the right to be cocky. He is one of the best golfers on the planet.
Yeah.
So he's got a right to be cocky. Like when he did, I watched one of the episodes with him and Paige Sporonic, and it was like they were trying to shoot like not 10 under through 9 holes. So they had to eagle at least one. And they were, doing best ball or whatever. And it was like a 12-foot putt. And she goes, oh man, he goes, don't worry about it. Just casually walks up to a 12-foot putt, lines it up, puts it right in, says, come on, let's go to the next one. Like who just casually walks up to a 12-foot putt except for maybe a toddler and like,
I guess he's got it all calculated out.
Yeah.
He knows what it's going to do.
Yeah. One thing I did recognize, though, is most of his YouTube videos, he plays on the same course every time. So I guess once you've played it long enough, you know it very, very well.
Yeah.
So, because besides pin placement, there's not much that's going to change most times.
True.
So.
I will say this past week, I did something new. Mm-hmm. So my neighborhood has a golf league.
Mm-hmm.
And played on a course I've never played before.
Okay.
People I didn't know.
What course? Give the course a shout
out. Man, you're putting me on the spot here.
Oh boy.
Worthington Manor.
Okay.
Very nice.
Okay.
But challenging. And I'm one of those guys that I like to, if I play and I hit a bad tee shot, all right, I'm just gonna throw another one down.
Sure.
This is not that. You have to. It's a legit.
Like league.
Yeah.
Oh boy, no breakfast balls.
Yeah, no breakfast balls. So that was an adjustment, for sure.
Yeah.
But finally, I think after I hit my ball all over the place, the first 2 or 3 holes, settled down, and I think I ended with 2 pars or 2 bogeys, which were
that's your what, second or third round all year?
Yeah, something
played
like
the first
that.
with me,
yeah,
and then maybe your second or third round.
Third
round because you played in that other tournament.
Yeah.
Yep. So third round all year. It's take the positives away.
Yeah,
right?
And then I played the next day.
Oh yeah. So, there you go.
That was good. That was just a charity tournament.
That's one unfortunate. Like I said, I got
good time.
I got called up from the bench.
Oh yeah, you bailed.
I got caught. I didn't.
I know. I'm kidding.
Don't give me that shit. So no,
you're in the right place.
Unfortunately, yes, yeah. That was one I couldn't. There was no way I could. Like I said, Doc. 10 o'clock. Or what was it? So the tournament was Thursday.
Yeah.
So 10 o'clock Tuesday night, he had a fever spike of almost 102, and then he still had almost a 102 fever by noon the next day, and he finally he started to come down Wednesday night, and it was 97, 98 normal and everything, but I felt more comfortable staying home with him. He couldn't even go into daycare anyway because you got to be 24 hours without it for his daycare, which I think is a fair rule. But yeah, there was this. I felt really bad because I had committed and I knew I could make it, but that was one of those variables. Now being a dad moment. That will be my dad moment of the week. That I sacrificed a day out on the course, and it wasn't sacrifice. I'd spend any day with my son. So
Yeah.
it was a good day. So he was good all day. He slept most of the day. We did a little playing around, did some tummy time and shit like that. But yeah, so I know I missed a good day.
And,
no. If I do, we both ain't getting up. Now we're in some real trouble. I'm like a turtle on its back when I'm on my stomach. I'm rough.
Oh man,
it's rough.
But
no, it looked like a fun tournament.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Perfect day.
Beautiful.
71 degrees, partly cloudy.
Could not ask for better weather.
Yeah. Yep.
So, which, as you know, the night before it was still raining.
Yeah.
It rained like all day.
Yep.
But moving on, we had to kind of go back to the PGA. We had you called Xander winning.
Once again, we took a long shot, like a dark horse, and then we also took one of us took one of the favorites, and the way he's been playing, and once again, what was the whole story going into Sunday? Will he fumble it, or will he actually hang on? And my thought was that he finally hung on.
Props to you.
That's
congrats.
Listen,
Please tell me, did you actually?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Nope. That's what I get.
Yeah.
That's what I get. Because if you didn't, did you see in the group text of the degenerates that we're in a group text with, someone asked, what's the lock of the night for Friday night? And NBA. And what did I say? I said OKC with the points and the overs. They only lost by 1. They were getting 3.5, and the overs got cleared by over 20 points. Did anyone bet it? Nope. That went by the wayside. So once again, if I don't bet it, it normally hits. It's when I put money on it, you should lay that bet like hell. Yep. Go against it. Put all your money on it.
Have to keep that in mind for the next time.
Let me know the next one-on-one. I'll tell you who I like and who I want. And if I bet on them, go against me. If I don't bet on them, go with me.
Sounds good.
That's how it works.
A little complicated, but I think we got it.
It's okay. It's an easy formula.
We had Tiger not making the cut, which it is what it is. At least he was out there.
We talked about that. And I talked about the week before just how I don't know. Like you said, your theory is he has to stay that warm in order for his body to be able to make it through 18 holes.
Mm-hmm.
I just personally think, I don't think he's in good enough shape to play a whole tournament. His interview kind of leaned a little towards my way because he said, I don't play competitive golf every week anymore.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, I may be in one tournament a month. He goes, other than that, I'm playing on my personal Florida golf course. And he goes, not competitive. Yeah, exactly. The guy owns like 3 different golf courses of his own. But you know what I mean? So he openly came out and said, and was like, I'm trying to build my body back up to be able to compete week in and week out. He goes, it's a lot. I mean, and all the accidents, all the injuries and all that kind of stuff. And, he didn't play terrible for a late 40-some-year-old who's been through as many injuries.
At least he was out there.
He was. And he gave it best effort.
Yeah.
So he gave it best effort.
I think it's good to see Tiger out there.
Oh, yeah. There was a lot of good golf over the weekend.
Yeah.
A lot of good golf. My long shot, Max Homa, I think he finished top 20. But I mean, those guys couldn't keep up. Bryson, Hovland, you couldn't. Those guys were on a whole different level. Level, especially Bryson on Sunday. I watched just about his entire round except for maybe the first 4 or 5 holes. And did you see the drive shot that he sent into the trees, bounced off the tree, middle fairway?
I was at the Orioles game. I didn't see.
That's right. Yep.
I didn't get to watch much of it yesterday.
I'm sitting there. I was feeding Doc, and Kate was just sitting there on the couch. She was, she's not watching golf, but she lets me do it while I feed him. And I said, all of a sudden, I was like, "Holy shit!" She goes, "What? What happened?" Like, of course, golf isn't the most exciting thing to watch on TV, but when they showed the replay of the ball disappearing into the trees and then rolling into the fairway, she goes, "Wow." I said, I can't tell you how many times I've done that.
Right.
She goes, I said, more times than not, that ball doesn't come out like that.
Not going to find that one. Let's hit another.
Yep. Another donation to the course.
Free marketing.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, that and then I also had speaking of bets, going back to that, one other one that I had mentioned last week was the hole in one.
It
prop
hit.
bet.
Yes,
It hit.
it hit.
So what I also did with that is I also did hole in one in round one, hole in one in round two.
Ooh.
Round one it didn't hit.
No,
round two it
round
did.
two it hit. Okay.
So the
A little
odds
more
on that were
specific, a little better
a little
odds.
more juice.
There you go.
But
There you go.
I did it on the tournament as a whole, and I did that. So,
yeah. Well, you had to be in the plus then.
Yeah.
Right. At least doing it that way. There you go.
So it all worked out.
Yeah. Gotta love them prop bets are fun, especially during football season. Golf limited prop bets. Obviously, hole in one any point in time is a cool one to bet, but football's got some crazy ones. So can't wait for football season.
The Super Bowl.
We'll get into those. The
Super
Bowl is ridiculous. Yeah. Starting with a coin flip for and
color
then
of the Gatorade.
Yes. See, same page.
Yep.
Same page.
And then obviously I had Brooks and Morikawa. Morikawa I thought was going to work out there for a while.
He was fighting, fell off.
Brooks was never really in it.
You didn't see his name come up too much.
But
nope. They had him pretty much counted out going into Sunday. They were like if Xander and Bryson and Hovland playing the way that they're playing, then he doesn't stand a chance to repeat.
Yeah.
So yep.
Well, my bet failed, but it is what it is.
Yeah, but you made up the difference with the hole in one.
Yeah.
It's still a fun prop bet. At least you win something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So better than going home with nothing.
That worked out. And then we had Preakness on Saturday.
Yeah. Muddy.
Very muddy.
I
feel like it's rained there like the last 5 years.
So learned a little bit more, right? Listening to the workup to the race and everything like that. They kind of canceled all the pre-races because of how bad the track was. They didn't want it too messed up for the main race.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to dive deep into their bag. The media did to try to find story after story to fill time because there weren't any pre-races.
Yeah.
So
they had some on the turf.
They had a couple on the turf, but yes, none on the actual track. So in past years when it has rained, it wasn't considered muddy.
I saw that.
Yeah. Yep. So there's levels to this shit, right? So this was the first time I think it's had like 83 years that the Preakness was run on a muddy track.
Yeah.
And I think it's simply just the depth of how, like, when you step, how deep it is what they consider from mud to just sloppy. I couldn't think of the other word, sloppy. So you either have all the other ones that we've seen it rain in, they've just been considered sloppy tracks. This was considered a muddy track.
Yeah.
Yep. So it was, and I mean it was a fun race. Like the horse that won it, Sees the Gray, pretty horse. I love gray horses. They're so pretty. Like they're just, I don't know. I love the way that they look. But the trainer is like the oldest trainer.
Yeah, like almost 90 years old.
He turns 89. They said he turns 89 on Labor Day this year. This was his sixth Preakness win. So he's won it 5 times previous. And he said out the gate, he said, because I watched his interview right before all the horses went to the gate. He said the pack's going to need to stay close together there because there's not going to be any closing. You can't close in the mud. And a guy who's been around horse racing that long, you're kind of going to listen to him, right? He's kind of somehow knows his shit, especially if he's won 5 of these before. Yeah. And he just came out and said he was like you're going to see. He goes, your front pace horses are going to stay front pace. He goes, and they're probably going to run away with it. And that's his. He had 2 horses in it. The horse Sees the Gray. He was 1, 2, 3 the entire time, and then when it was time to turn it on, couldn't be caught.
Yep, he took off.
Yep.
And I remember that guy saying, "I don't know how my horses are going to run in the mud because they've never run in the mud."
He said we didn't train for this.
Yeah.
He goes you don't really want to train for this because of such high probability of an injury. He goes, yeah, you're right. It's exactly what he said. He goes, I don't know. Because the guy asked, he goes, how do you think your horses will do? He goes, I honestly have no clue.
Yeah.
How many people would just come out and say, I don't know? You know what I mean? A guy who's been in the game for that long to just come out and say, yeah,
horse you've got millions of dollars
invested into. Millions. Oh, yeah. Yep. So, but As much as I would have loved to see Mystic Dan win again, and he tried to close, but once again, the trainer he came out and said, he goes, you can't close on this sort of track. He goes, it's just not possible because of how thick the mud is. I guess you just can't pick up the rhythm while you're on the horse, and yeah, and it's just, but the Seize the Gray horse just looked huge compared to the rest. Just I don't know.
Pretty horse.
Very pretty, yes.
Pretty
but
pony.
I'm just saying, just like the size of him, like he just looked like he was a few hands bigger than every other horse that was out there. So maybe the color kind of helps as well. I don't know why gray just looks on a racehorse makes him look a little longer, but yeah. So, but it was, I mean, once again, fun race. But Kate was sitting on the couch. She goes, "Another fun 2 minutes in sports." I'm like, "Yep, you know it."
Another satisfied 2 minutes.
That's right. That's right. Yep. Chalk up another one.
There you go.
So
yeah, I let each of my kids pick a horse.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I'm like, all right, Haley, who do you think's gonna win?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Aubrey, pick one.
Yep.
You know, and we went. I probably had money on all of them. So you basically got my money back.
There you go. Quick little story. My father, sorry, had to mention this, sent me and my brother a text message Sunday at around 11 a.m. Of course, race was Saturday. And in screenshots of his TVG account, he goes, completely forgot that I put a bet in on this race on my TV because he bet in on like at the track as well. So he goes, completely forgot that I put these bets in on TVG. I think he bet like $40 total, ended up winning almost $1,000.
Very good for him.
He goes, completely forgot. He goes, I opened up my TVG account he goes, because there were more races on Sunday. He goes, I saw the deposit in my TVG account. I was like, where'd this come from? And then he sent us the screenshots. He had Seize the Gray right on the nose, and I think that was the bigger bet. That was like $40, and then he had like $3 or $4 on the trifecta boxed, which means he had the top three horses. Just those three had to come in 1, 2, 3 in any combination, and that was the bigger payout. I think that $4 paid like $600 or something like that. And which to me, well, granted, he said he bet it almost a week ago, roughly. The reason that the odds were so good because there was only 6 or 7 horses, maybe 8 in the whole race. It was very small. I mean, the Derby had over 20.
Yeah.
So, but it's kind of typical for a lot of those horses. You don't see them travel if they lose the Derby. You don't see them travel to Pimlico, and then the simple fact that how bad the course was, they didn't want. Mystic Dan was going to act, and they interviewed Mystic Dan's trainer. He said, I didn't make a decision until just last week.
Yeah.
So because he was worried about the course.
He's like, but he looks good.
Yeah. Yep. Said he did. He goes. I did all the testing. He goes. Everything. All the levels came back perfect. He goes. So we're out here. He goes. We're going for round 2.
There you go.
Yep.
Cool.
So, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to tell you that quick.
No. That was really all I had on that. Okay. Yeah, so no Triple Crown this year.
We got to look up the Belmont.
Yeah, we got to look.
Said that's
I
possibly
think it's somewhere different this year.
Okay.
Because isn't Belmont typically like a mile and a half, and the
Belmont's usually the longest one. Yes, that's usually the long track. So we'll do a little background this week, and then we'll update you on the next episode.
Sounds good. Next, I know you're not a big NASCAR guy.
No,
but did you?
I'm a big boxing guy.
A big boxing guy. There you go. So you know where I'm going with this.
Yes.
Did you see the things going wild on social media with the fight from last night from the All-Star race?
So when I first saw the first part of the clip, it was just one of the drivers, and then like you reminded me earlier, Kyle Busch arguing like back and forth, and I'm like, why do I always see this guy like getting into arguments with everybody? Like he's got to be one of the most hated drivers in NASCAR because the NASCAR and the people that I know that watch NASCAR besides you all say, "Oh, I can't stand Kyle Busch.
Just a prick.
He's an asshole. Yeah, he's such a prick. He's an asshole. Blah blah blah." Like it's like I remember when I was younger and Jeff Gordon like could not win. That's why people hated him because he kept winning. You know what I mean? This guy is hated because he's actually a dick.
Well, no, he wins a lot too.
All right,
not so much over the last year or two.
Okay,
but he's one of the best drivers out there. Like I'll give him that.
Okay,
he used to win a lot.
Apparently, some people don't like the way he drives.
Yeah. So what happened was he got passed on like the first lap, and I think Ricky Stenhouse kind of squeezed him and he hit the wall.
Mm-hmm.
he didn't like that. He came back and, next corner or corner after that, spun him out. And he went, right into the wall. He's done for the day.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say, because the one guy was in street clothes.
So he waited
the whole rest of the race.
2 that he's out of 200. So he waited,
My man said, I am giving him a knuckle sandwich.
And Kyle Busch's owner, Richard Childress, had at one point said, hold my watch or something, like as he would take off his watch to get into a fight or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And
because it's probably worth more than what we make.
And so Kyle Busch's owner, because Kyle Busch used to drive for someone else.
Okay.
And Richard Childress had said that about Kyle Busch. It's, some point long ago. And now when he signed Kyle Busch to drive for him, he bought him a Rolex.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But in Stenhouse's interview after the crash, he said, I might need Richard to hold my watch.
So he
knew
he had it flat out
from the beginning.
I'm going to say my piece, and then you are getting a 2-piece and a biscuit on the side.
So they exchanged words there for a second.
Yeah,
I guess he didn't like what he had to say, and he let one rip. And
at right hand, he tried to come over the top. Kyle kind of whiffed it. Like did a little Mayweather
piece.
Did a little Mayweather block him. It looked like he caught the top of him, and then looked like Kyle Busch tried to come back up. And the other guy just took his momentum and just one arm just hucked him across the thing.
And then by
then, everybody had jumped in and split it up. Really.
So
at that point, you're throwing fists at your own people because they're splitting everything.
But nothing like a good NASCAR fight make things exciting.
They've been some of the best ones that I've seen in sports besides boxing and UFC.
Just some good old boys.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Other than that, the race was pretty boring.
Oh. No fun finish. I was going to say, had back-to-back fun finishes, you said.
Nothing too exciting on that.
Who ended up winning?
Joey Logano.
Okay.
So.
Gotcha.
Or otherwise known as Slogano, but no, I'm just kidding.
I was going to say, how do you get nicknamed Slogano and win a race? Oh, Lord.
But so this week coming up, we have Memorial Day weekend coming up.
Yeah. Yep.
That
reminder, don't go to work Monday.
Yes.
Unless you have to.
Sunday, it might be the best day of racing that there is. So F1 has Monaco, which starts here at like 9 a.m. or 9:30.
It's in Spain,
something like that. Okay. Wherever that is. It's
Monaco,
somewhere in
Spain.
Europe. Yeah. Indy 500 starts at noon.
Okay.
Noon
now,
or 1 o'clock.
Explain. For viewers who don't regularly watch NASCAR, Indy 500, does that mean 500 laps?
500 miles.
500 miles. Thank you. Okay. Because I hear like most of these races are like 200, 250 laps, stuff like that. I'm like, damn, this is double.
Yeah, it's like the Daytona 500 is not 500 laps.
It's 500 miles.
Like a 2.5 mile
track.
I got you. Like that.
I got you. Okay.
I'm
learning.
Yeah,
I'm learning.
So there you go.
I like to learn new stuff.
So learn something new every day.
Listen, I give a little fun facts about horse racing. You give it about NASCAR.
There we go.
I like it.
And then
did the one guy win again in F1?
He did.
Did I see he came back and won it? So we're starting a new streak now.
So he won, but it was close. He only won by like a couple seconds. Oh, so he had been winning by like over 10 seconds.
I was going to say, you told me he won like 20-some in a row, and then he finally got like ridiculously length, and then finally lost. And then I did see his name, like just because he's got a unique name, I couldn't pronounce.
Max Verstappen.
Okay. Yeah. So and I just saw it. I just happened to see it on Instagram, like ESPN post. I'm like, oh, that guy won again.
Yeah. So but then noon we have the Indy 500. Kyle Larson, who's a NASCAR driver, is running in the Indy 500, and then also going to run the NASCAR race at Charlotte later that evening as well.
So he's running two races on the same day.
Yes, wow. Which I think that probably starts around 7 or something like that.
So he's got to get from Indianapolis down to Charlotte. So he's got a race in Indy. How long are races? 3.5 hours?
Something like that.
Okay. Obviously private jet. There's no other way you're getting down there. Private jet to Charlotte. Get prepped for that, and then race again.
Yep. Wow. Probably land somewhere in Charlotte. Take a helicopter to the track.
Oh yeah.
And so it's gonna be a long day for him. But he's like probably arguably the most talented NASCAR driver.
Okay.
He is the way they do qualifying for the Indy 500. It's like they do like a whole week of testing and practicing or whatever they do.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up qualifying 5th for the Indy 500.
Oh.
So I think there's maybe 30 drivers or something like
Total.
that.
Okay.
So he qualified 5th, which is crazy for, someone who doesn't do that every week.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
So, and then he flew in and raced last night. But this
That's
weekend,
nuts.
he'll run 500 miles in the Indy 500.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll run 600 miles in the Coke 600 later that evening.
Down in Charlotte. Wow.
It's 1,100 mials that day. It's been done a couple times before. No one's ever
Truck drivers do it every day. They're not impressed. Just not at 200 miles an hour.
The Indy cars are going like 240 miles an hour.
Oh wow, okay.
It's
all right. Pep the
crazy.
step up a little bit.
Nuts, but and probably the G forces and stuff that they
imagine a toll that takes on your body.
Nuts.
So one of the cool things that I like, some of the training things that I've saw on race car drivers is obviously your reaction time. When you're going that fast, you got to have some of the correct. You got fractions of seconds to adjust. And one of the cool ones, and I think we should do it on video one time, is the tennis ball, right?
Oh, where you drop them and
you hold your So like I stand there with 2 tennis balls and we stare eye to eye, and then you got your hands behind your back, and all of a sudden I drop one and you got to grab it before it hits the ground.
Sounds good.
So
we should do that.
I think it'd be pretty fun.
Pretty funny.
That's absolutely. See who's got a little bit. Now we're gonna need a little bit more room. We got a little bit more wide berth than some of these NASCAR drivers, but yeah. I think it'll be fun.
So I think that would be cool. But he might be Kyle Larson might be the one that has a shot to legitimately possibly win the Indy 500.
Which means you got to give him a shot to win the Coca-Cola 600.
Yeah, and he's obviously could win that.
Has that ever been done?
Never.
2 wins,
Never.
2 different. No,
never. So.
That'd be some.
I think the best is like
right
someone finished 4th in the Indy 500 and then like 5th or 6th in the Coke 600.
Okay,
the same day.
So it's been attempted before.
Yeah,
but never had a win-win.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
No one's ever won either one of them doing both in the same day.
Gotcha.
So I think he could.
He's got the most legit shot in recent history of someone doing it. That'd be pretty cool.
It could happen, but it's also looking. I tried to look at it before we got on here today.
Mm-hmm.
There's nowhere that has the odds set for yet. The only one that's live right now is Indy 500. NASCAR hasn't set their odds yet, or the books haven't.
Yeah.
And then, but what I was gonna say is, you do a Max Verstappen to win at Monaco.
Okay.
Maybe you
probably
dabble
2
in
to 1, maybe.
No, it's actually down to, it was like minus 150.
Oh.
So
okay, that's not.
As at Monaco, there's very little passing. So basically, whoever qualifies first is gonna win.
Oh, I got you. I got you.
And if he qualifies first, he's probably gonna win.
Gotcha.
Indy 500, I think Kyle Larson was like plus 500 maybe to win.
Okay.
Something like that. Not the greatest odds, but I think there's a lot of people putting money on him just from coming from NASCAR.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll probably be plus 500 or plus 1,000 to win
Coca-Cola.
Yeah. So
gotcha. Can you
parlay those?
Well, I was gonna say, like horse racing, can you do like top 10 finish odds?
Yeah.
Does it have that too? Okay, I've never gambled ever on NASCAR
you could
or
do
anything
that.
like that. So, I mean, maybe obviously parlay a win-win-win, but also maybe parlay Verstappen win with 2 top 10 finishes.
Yeah, that could
probably wouldn't be a bad hedge bet.
Mm-hmm. So, and there's probably still some juice on that too.
Oh, absolutely. A three leg parlay, absolutely.
Definitely something I'm gonna take a look at, and maybe we'll shoot another like small video on that.
A little short,
maybe at the end of the week.
Yep. We are not professionals who give gambling advice.
If anyone would like to sponsor us, though, we would like that.
Absolutely, I'd be happy to gamble your money.
Hashtag not DK partners.
Not yet.
What else did I have? Anything else on? Yeah, no, that was it for.
That's a hell of a racing day, though.
Yeah, so that's like you could
Super Bowl.
Super
Bowl for NASCAR, essentially.
I wouldn't say it.
Well, I guess not that Super Bowl for the racing community.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair
So
enough.
the biggest race for that is Daytona 500 for NASCAR.
Gotcha.
Monaco
Okay.
is probably one of the crown jewels for F1.
Okay.
Um,
Indy's
Indy
big.
500 is
That's got to be like the AFC
arguably
NFC championship game, then, right?
it's definitely the biggest race in IndyCar.
Gotcha.
So, which has a little bit of a smaller audience than NASCAR,
Mm-hmm.
but either way, great day of racing.
Sure.
And could be kind of interesting. Mm-hmm. But not NASCAR, NBA, very different. Very different. The Indiana Pacers, speaking of the Indy 500, they've moved on. Didn't see that one coming.
It'll come to a complete halt.
Yeah, probably.
Against Boston.
Yeah.
Boston's so deep right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think Boston, I would say, is pretty much a lock to make it to the finals.
Yeah.
And then we had Minnesota pulling it off against Denver.
Anthony
You had
Edwards.
that?
Yep.
I was wrong.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
but I did say the winner of that series, I think, could win the finals.
Yeah.
I think they.
Yeah.
I like the Celtics,
Mm-hmm.
but I think the winner of that Minnesota Denver series had the toughest road to get there. I truly think the Boston Indiana series goes 5. Boston takes it 4-1. I think the Minnesota Dallas has the chance to go 7. Probably
because Luka has been playing out of his mind for Dallas, and it's hard to it's going to be very hard for them to go up against that Rudy Gobert, Karl Anthony Towns combo down low.
Yeah.
So I think that, I mean, you can't really contain Anthony Edwards. You can only hope to slow him down. It was an old adage.
I don't think Kyrie's gonna lock him down. I don't think
Kyrie's not he's not that defensive guy. Luka doesn't. Not many people play defense in the NBA. Let's really truly be honest there. But yeah, I mean, it's
gonna be interesting though.
If we go back, I think my picks were Dallas and Boston. And
that's who you had.
I think I had Boston taking it.
Both yours are still alive.
Yep.
So. Yep. Anything else on NBA?
Hopefully it's a fun set. Like I said, Indy. I don't think Indy's going to be able to make it a series. I mean, they have a lot of momentum, but I think they use so much of what they had just to beat the Knicks. And I truly believe that they beat the Knicks because Jalen Brunson went down. I think he broke his hand. I think that was the final, what they said he did, and that was like second quarter.
And I think the Pacers were already up.
Right? They were up, they were up by like 10 or 15, so there was even less of a chance now for the Knicks. But I mean, good for the Knicks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hopefully, maybe finally turning that franchise around. You go into free agency, you go into the draft, you build up a little bit better. You got a dog with Josh Hart, who the guy refuses to give up. Jalen Brunson.
There's a foundation there.
There is. Yes, they've started a foundation. Now, hopefully, as an organization, they continue to build on it.
Yep.
So and I mean, NBA free agency, I would probably say is one of the craziest free agencies out there. As crazy as Major League Baseball can get, I think NBA, like, you just have these major superstars saying, all right, like, Damian Lillard. I know he got traded, but he didn't want to be in Portland anymore. They drafted Scoot Henderson, his heir apparent. He's like, I don't want to be here anymore. Send me to a team that I got a shot at winning a title with. So, and of course, with Giannis going down, the Bucks really didn't stand the biggest chance, which I really didn't think he was the best fit there. I felt like
Damian Lillard?
Yeah, I felt like he would have done. I felt like the move there was to the Lakers, but I guess the Lakers didn't send a big enough package over, because I truly believe the Lakers are planning on moving on from LeBron and Anthony Davis this summer.
We'll see.
I really do, because they have a lot of stock in the draft coming up. And I think they're tired of, I think the LeBron Anthony Davis show is over now. I think LeBron just ends up going to whoever signs Bronny, just so we say, okay, I played with him 1 year in the NBA, now I'll retire. And I think Anthony Davis gets dealt somewhere. So, and crazy enough to say it, I think one of the possible landing spots would be Dallas. Because besides Kyrie and Luka, they don't have any more big names down there. And really, to win in the NBA now, you need three.
I almost think that if you look at who's still in the playoffs,
Mhm.
the days of the big three and the super teams, I think they're kind of over.
All right. So Dallas, you got Luka, Kyrie. It's only two, right? You couldn't name another person on their roster right now.
I could name one.
Ew.
Daniel Gafford. He got traded from the Wizards.
Oh, from the okay. All right.
That's the only reason. I
Hometown
know
guy.
that, yeah.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. The Timberwolves, you got Anthony Edwards, Gobert, and Cat. So I would say that's kind of a
Yeah.
big three situation. The Celtics, you got Porzingis, Brown, and Tatum.
Porzingis isn't
Yeah, I get it, but he's. I think he was the move that needed to be made to get them to the next level.
Yeah.
Because they were. I think they were one. They were one star, not superstar, but star short. And I think he brought that to their level. Now, the biggest one, to your point, would be Indy. Besides Tyrese Halliburton, they just play really good basketball together.
Yeah.
That team is gelling. So once again, that's another team where you could see, a free agent want to pick up and go to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's.
And even if you look at the Knicks, Brunson's, I guess you could say, a star.
Brunson has become a star. Julius Randle, a star.
Yeah.
Josh Hart is not a star.
No.
So you got one. I would say you got 1.5 in New York.
Yep.
And they've showed that if you play good defense, actually in the NBA, you give yourself a legit shot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you might. I mean, yeah. Look at Phoenix.
That didn't work out.
Good Lord, that went down faster than my plate at a buffet.
The Bradley Beal trade is looking better and better for the Wizards.
Absolutely. Yeah, all 4 second-round picks.
Right.
At least they unloaded. At least they unloaded his cap, because I think he's like 51 or 52 mil against the cap. So
bizarre.
It gives themselves an opportunity to really offer a huge offer to somebody good, and hopefully you surround him with some talent.
Yep.
So
next we got NFL schedule was released.
Yeah.
The full schedule.
How do you feel about your boys?
It's a schedule.
Yeah.
One thing I am excited about is they play the Ravens. I think it's
at M&T.
October 13th.
Yeah.
Probably going to try to go to that game. I think that would,
that'd be a cool one to go to.
I would say I'd this isn't going to sound good on the Redskins or Commanders, but I would rather go to M&T Bank than I would Old FedEx.
Yeah, I've heard
Baltimore's just so much easier to get in and out of.
A little bit better stadium.
Much better stadium. So definitely going to try to go to that. I'm excited.
Essentially, it's a home game for both teams.
Yeah.
Essentially, whether it was going to be at FedEx or at M&T.
Oh, if it's FedEx, it's definitely a home game for you. So,
yeah, Ravens fans do travel, but Ravens ended up with the second hardest, according to last year's standings, the second hardest schedule, according to Pro Football Focus.
I don't think any of that shit matters.
Well, so they take into consideration what was everyone's record last year, and then who was facing the toughest records.
Yeah.
So I read, of course, me being as big in the numbers that I am, I looked at the winning percentages from top to bottom. And it was like the Browns have the hardest, then the Ravens, then the Steelers. Well, that was a little weird that 3 of the 4
it's all that division.
AFC North teams. Well, yes, correct. Yeah, you had all 4 teams. I think were above 500.
Mm-hmm.
So we hit the top 3, but it was like a 540 winning percentage, 540, 535, 531 for 1, 2, and 3, and then the bottom 3 was like 435, 439. So it was literally
It's not that big a difference.
One true percentage point away. So I mean, my thing, I like looking at the bye week. Where's the Ravens have week 14.
Yeah, I think we have a late one too.
Yeah.
Not that it's going to matter.
Well, for the Ravens thinking about it that way,
it's going to be a good thing.
But it's a grueling 13 weeks in a row.
I'm sure there's a couple Thursday nights.
We got a ton. Yeah, we got a ton of. Yeah. We got a ton of primetime games. I think we're 3 Monday night games and 2 Thursday games, including Christmas Day. We play Christmas Day this year.
Nice.
Yep. So we're at somewhere. I don't know. We're at somewhere. We're not at home though. It's not a home
Gotcha.
Christmas game. So
Would you go to a game on Christmas?
I would.
Have you?
I would. We've
Or
had
like
one. We've had
Thanksgiving?
one in the past. Yes, I've gone. I believe I've gone to a Thanksgiving game because it was against Pittsburgh,
Okay.
and I don't. I can't remember the last Pittsburgh game that I've missed, to be honest. That was at home. But I would Christmas Day. I mean, even as crazy as it is, crazy. Well, things are a little different now with little man. That
I'm
okay.
just asking.
No. Yeah. So before this year, before he was born, absolutely, 100% go to a Christmas Day game, Thanksgiving Day game, absolutely. Um, Now, being a dad, I'd have to hesitate on pulling the trigger on it a little bit. So, yeah, I don't know. But I had been to a Thanksgiving game. It was fun. I forget like I said, I think we played Pittsburgh. So of course that's always a great game, no matter
Yeah.
what. Um, so yeah, I believe the Ravens have 5 primetime games, including the one Christmas Day game. But it is away. It is an away game for us. So
I do think like a Thanksgiving or a Christmas Day game would be fun. But I think you need to be with your family on those days. But if
sure.
you get your family to
Well,
all go and tailgate
yeah,
and kind of do like your Christmas
Thanksgiving
dinner,
dinner there.
Thanksgiving dinner there, I feel like that would be pretty cool.
I like that strategy.
So
I like that. Yeah,
but
make it a family affair.
Yeah. So
Be the most expensive Thanksgiving dinner you've ever had.
yeah, it might be a little
Buying
pricey.
all those tickets to go to the game and then tailgating all that time before too.
I mean, are they more expensive?
Prime time. It's a prime time game. Yeah, it's gonna be. And then also it depends on who your opponent is.
Yeah.
Like a Ravens Steelers game, those tickets are stupid, absolutely stupid. And now that
They're good.
Cincinnati has a great team, Cleveland has a great team. Believe it or not, you know what I mean. Like it is not cheap to buy tickets to go to M&T anymore. Like who are the trash teams in the NFL? Not none that we play this year, at least. I mean, we got the NFC South or East this year because we got Tampa, Atlanta, all of them. We're in Tampa this year, which
Winnable games.
I got a bunch of friends going down to Tampa. However, that game is the Monday before my wedding.
Yeah, don't think Kate would like that.
No. Monday before our golf tournament. Sorry.
Don't think I would like that.
No, you wouldn't. No, Kate wouldn't mind. You would be a little pissy.
Nah, but still, like, yeah, we could make that work.
Yeah, we would. But no, I would. You know how much stress we get under in that last 2 weeks. There's no way I could take a plane trip down to Tampa just to see them. No, the only way I would truly fly out to see them play Vegas, because I love Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
If we play the Raiders in Vegas, I wouldn't mind doing that trip if I could make all the moving parts work correctly and the schedule was good. Miami, because who doesn't want to go to Southern Florida?
Mm-hmm.
And that's about it. I think that's where I draw the line as far as flying to a Ravens game. My father goes to. My father flies because one of his childhood best friends that he grew up with in South Baltimore lives in Houston. So whenever the Ravens do play Houston in Houston this year.
Oh.
However, I forget what day that is. It's Christmas Day. That's the Christmas Day game. Houston. There we go. Boom. See, everything leads to the same road.
There you go.
Every year, either his friend has flown up to see Houston. He's not a Houston fan. He's a Ravens fan, but he lives in Houston, so he's around that stuff. He flies up to Baltimore to see Houston play the Ravens, or my father will fly down to Houston to see them play in Houston. And my father, when Houston played the Ravens over in England a few years ago, my father and him flew to England to see the game. Yeah, he said it was cool. Yeah, he said it was a cool trip because he had never been, but his friend had been quite a few times. So he was, kind of just showed him around and all that kind of stuff. And my father goes, you'll go hungry over there. He goes, that food sucks.
Yeah, I've heard similar things.
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah. Yep. And it's funny. My father took a 2-week trip to Italy with my aunt, who's her father was straight off the boat from Italy and everything like that. So they took a 2-week trip to Italy back in like 2019 or something like that. He said, greatest food I've ever had in my life.
I could imagine.
He goes gelato, the pizza, the pasta, he goes anything you could think of. He goes, it was fresh. It did, like, he goes, you could just distinctly tell the difference between eating pasta at home in the US and eating Italian food over there. He goes, no, besides the fact that you're in Italy, okay, let's separate that point. He goes, just the freshness of everything, the fruit. He goes, the fruit was more colorful. It looked like it had been sprayed down with a ton of stuff and everything. He goes, the only thing is, he goes, a lot of those places, they're still in the barbaric age. He goes, no air conditioning in most of the places that they stayed. He goes, showers were made for people who were
little men
living there a couple hundred years ago. Yeah. And you know my dad, he's not the smallest guy in the world.
No.
So, yeah. He told me, he goes, if I had a chance to do it again, he goes, I would stay at a more modern hotel. He goes, and that would probably make the trip 100 times better.
Nice.
Yep. So, anyway, sorry.
You're good.
You know me and my ranting. I just go off.
Hey, I could listen to
filling time here.
Italian food all day.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we had a crab cake debate last time, didn't we?
We did.
So, all right. So I know you got one of your stories coming up about Sunday. I got something to ask you. Is that what's next on the list? What you did yesterday?
I was going to say lacrosse. Maryland's still in it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I think Final Four is next weekend.
Believe so.
So I was just going to say that. But what's your
No. I was going to ask.
Story?
I know you went, and I'll let you tell that whole story because I'm excited to hear it because I know you haven't been to a game. You haven't been to a game this year, have you?
Yeah, it's the first game this year.
First game of the year.
Yeah.
But remember, we talked about we need to go take a lunch to Jimmy Seafood. Did you happen to go to the Jimmy Seafood stand at the Orioles game?
I did not.
They have their own insert stand now down there.
Yeah, where is it?
It's in the same corner that faces Pickles Pub. So if you come in through that entrance and you walk, and like obviously you can't see Pickles Pub through the stadium, but if you're looking in the direction of Pickles Pub in that corner of the stadium and you turn around, that's Jimmy's.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, we were in like right field.
Okay. Okay.
Or along the first baseline.
Gotcha. Did you go to Pickles? You said you were going to go.
Yeah, we went to Pickles.
Yep, there you go.
Good time.
Very nice.
But the story is, so we all rode down in our friend's Suburban.
Mm-hmm.
We get out of the car. We parked in a little in like the neighborhood right there by Pickles because a friend knew a friend that got a parking pass. Get it. There you go.
Sorry.
Oh, that leaves a little bit of a mark. But
it'll buff out.
So we parked there. And of course we got out, had a cocktail or two before we walked to Pickles.
Nothing wrong with that.
Just natural. That's what you do.
Sure. It was an adults day too, right? Kids, no kids. There
adults.
You go. Mom and dad day.
Yep. So we got out, standing there maybe 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Cop comes walking up.
Oh boy.
Someone had called 911 on us because we were drinking in public.
Wow. Wow. Baltimore's gotten soft.
The best part was the guy like peeked his head out of the door and because the cop came up, he's like, "Did anyone call 911?" And we were like, "No. Like, what's going on? Is everything okay?" And I was like, "We'll keep our eyes out."
Yeah.
You know? And then
for suspicious activity.
Exactly. And the guy comes out, he's like, "Oh, I did. I called. They're out here drinking in public." And the cop goes, "It's game day." He's like, "There's a new policy. It doesn't matter."
Love that. Yes. Yes.
So we're like, "Oh, sorry, we're just gonna be here another minute, and then we're moving on." Like,
I love that.
So
all right. So hold on. Let me guess. It wasn't an older person.
No.
Nope. That's what I thought.
Nope.
That's all I had to guess. That's all I needed to know.
Around our age.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So I'll leave it at that because we'll get canceled if I go any further. So, but I can see that person, and I'm going to leave it at that person that stuck his head, their head, out the door and said it was them over there.
Yep.
Like,
so
come on, man.
made it interesting to get started. Then we went to Pickles, had a couple drinks, and then went into the game.
Nice. Good
So,
game. Great game.
Good game. Gunnar Henderson,
Another dinger. Leading the league in home runs.
He's MVP.
So far.
MVP.
So far. Yep. Absolutely. We've been saying that. We've been saying that since before the season started.
Exactly.
Yeah. I specifically remember you saying Gunnar for MVP.
Got a little wager on that.
So. You told me that too.
Yep. But yeah, it was fun. Always normally when we go, it's like me, you, and a couple other guys.
Yep.
And we go during the day. It was nice to my wife came and friends and good time.
You guys got to just like let your shoulders down, have a few cocktails, enjoy a ball game. It wasn't too hot. Remember we talked about, I said, I really hope the weather holds up because they've been calling for rain. And I said Sunday's like 50-50. It could rain. It could just be cloudy. And then sun ended up coming out.
Sun was out.
But it was like not a hot Sunday. I think the high was maybe 72.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
When I got home, cut the grass.
There you go.
And
all work and no play. Well, you got a little bit of play on Sunday.
So, sweat out a couple drinks. But,
sure.
Grass was long, but it looks good.
It's getting tougher and tougher to keep.
It's like the first day I had to be able to cut it.
Yeah. Because it rained all last week.
Yep.
And now this week is supposed to be beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't think there's one rain day this week.
Nope.
So all mid to low 70s, except it's going to get a little warm towards the end of the week. But other than that, so I'll be out there one day this week after work.
There you go.
Getting my cut in because I didn't. Saturday it rained and my land holds water like it's a damn swimming pool.
You're right by the water.
So I know. Yeah, it doesn't drain very well. So I gotta have at least 2 to 2.5 days of solid dryness in order to cut the grass and not walk in the house like I just got into a mud wrestling match.
Yeah. I mean, I probably could have waited another day to cut it and for it to dry out and be what I needed it to be. Mm-hmm. But it was close enough. I wasn't going to have any other time to
this
do
week.
It
Yeah, you got it done on a Sunday.
Later in the week. Yep. So I'm like, all right.
Which would have been even worse.
Got to do it now, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and then when you wait too long, does your mower bag it up as you cut it?
No, it's a recycler.
Okay. So I was going to say, if it gets too high and it kicks it back out, you end up killing half your lawn.
Well, yeah.
Because the cut grass covers up the good grass and doesn't let it get sunlight.
Yep. No, I don't let it get to that point.
Nice. There you go.
But yeah, I think that's all we had. I guess your dad moment.
Your dad. I told mine. I kicked off mine a little early. Premature.
Let's see. Haley had a field day at school today. I always remember that as being like my favorite day in school, and she was super excited about that. Nice. So,
how about you letting your kids bet on the Preakness?
And that too, yeah. I mean, they didn't actually, bet. I let them choose.
Well,
they recommended that one.
Pick a color, pick a name.
Yeah,
that's what we'll go with. Yes.
Had my name on it. In case anyone's watching,
he lost his money.
Yeah. So I didn't. Yeah. So that's about it. I think we'll maybe do another video later in the week just to talk about the great day of racing on Sunday and talk about
especially when the odds get released.
Yeah,
we'll have to do a little quick
maybe Thursday or Friday or something. Yeah. Any plans for Memorial Day weekend?
We have a baby shower on Saturday, and then other than that, I'm pretty positive our weekend is pretty open, which I'm very excited about because the closer we get to summer, it's like birthday party, graduation party, birthday party, graduation party. And I'm like,
dude, I'm telling you, once you have kids,
I feel like I've gotten invited to 10 times more things now. He's only 4 months old today. I'm like, you're 4 months old. I feel like I've gotten already more invites and you can't even walk or talk yet. Like, how did this happen? Like, they just want to see him. They want nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
So, and of course, I'm still, because of him, he's been sick now, like sick twice with the high fever and everything. So, of course, I done warned everybody about the baby shower on Saturday. Not everybody's picking him up. You ain't passing him around. No, that ain't happening. No, I already told Kate. Here's who I'll allow to pick them up. Anybody else? No. We were in BJ's. BJ's. I got to tell you a real quick story. I didn't get to tell you. So we went to BJ's. We had to go to BJ's. We needed, stock up on stuff and everything like that. So Kate, we haven't had steak, I would say, in probably about 2 months or something like that. Just because, steak prices and all that stuff and everything. And I'm like, okay, let's do steak this weekend, because we do steak, potatoes, grilled corn, and I also grill broccoli, like kind of steam grill it, like in the aluminum pans. And I knew yesterday was going to be an okay day to grill, so I'm like, let's do it. So we get to BJ's, we get all the stuff that we need first, and then I go and check out the steaks. And I walk up and I go right to the New York strips, because the ribeyes have just been ridiculously, they're not too expensive, but they're expensive because they're the best cut of meat that you can really get, as far as a steak goes, in most people's opinion. But I'm looking at the strips, because the strips are really good. They're thick and everything that you get. I'm sure you go Costco. You're a Costco guy, right? Yeah. So probably the same thing there. So I'm looking and I'm like, okay, 4 strips for, $31. I'm like, that's not bad. Like, okay, that's 4. We'll eat 2 tonight, and then I'll still cook all 4, but we'll cut the other 2 up in half, and we'll do like steak and eggs for breakfast, or a steak sandwich, or something like that.
Yeah.
I just happened to look over just to see, because I really thought ribeyes would be about 3 for $50 now. I look over and I see $10.21 on the sticker. So I went the little left slide. I looked down. It said ground beef, 88%, 12% fat.
Don't mind if I do.
I'm like I'm looking at the steak.
Let's go to self-checkout.
I'm looking at the steak as if it's like, that's not ground beef. Like, it took me a minute. Like, $10.21. So I started looking around. So the 2 at the bottom were normally marked. One was $44 for 3 steaks. The other one was like $46 for 3 steaks. So when I picked that pack up, the pack below it, $10.39. So I put the 1 pack in my hand, and I put it in the little, the meat bag or whatever that you want to keep it in. That way it doesn't touch anything else. And I walk over and I show Kate, and she goes, "Oh, somebody fucked up." I'm like, "Yeah, big time." She goes, I said, "There's 2 more labeled like this." She goes, I said, "I'm going to grab 1 more." I said, because if we get to that checkout and they're like, "Oh, no, this is wrong, we got to relabel this, blah, blah, blah," I'm like, I'm not going to want to walk back 2 of them, because I'm paying $120 for 9 steaks.
Yeah.
So I grabbed 1 more pack. It was like $10.49. And she goes, "Do you want to do self-checkout?" I said, "I really don't, because like Costco, BJ's has that checker there at the end. And if you get some Boy Scout or Girl Scout that are on top of their job, they're going to look in the cart and see there ain't no ground beef." And then I'm going to, reverse. So I'm planning even further ahead. I looked at every station of where I would get stopped from checkout line to the parking lot. So we did regular checkout, and I had them in the regular little plastic bags that you can put your meat in and everything. And I saw ground beef come right up, right in my cart. Right in my cart. I'm like, so then we got the little checkout lady. She's younger kid, I think, probably in high school or something, with a summer job or something like that.
She don't care.
She went, "Here you go." As we're walking out, I look like a little schoolgirl who just cheated on her test. I was like, I just got $80 worth of steak.
I got an A
for $21, and I was like, I texted my brother, because my brother is famous for saying, "Only shit like that happens to me." He says it all the time. "Only shit like that happens to me." I texted him, and he's MFing this and MFing that. He goes, "Only you, I swear to God. Swear it only happens to you. And only you." I'm like, "I know." And I called my mother and told her, and I was like, I didn't want to get greedy, because there was a 3rd pack that was labeled for like,
if anyone wants to go to BJ
for like $10.16. So I was like, if I walk back in and get that 3rd pack, I'm gonna look awfully suspicious. Awfully suspicious if I walk back in and get that 3rd pack. So ended up not pulling the trigger. But we got home. I took 2 steaks to my brother and my sister-in-law, because me and Kate aren't going to eat 6 steaks. And I'm not a fan of freezing steaks, especially that sort of cut of meat, and then thawing them out. It takes away from the flavor to me. They don't taste the same as when you get them that day and cook them either that day or the next. So So I took 2 over to my brother. I marinated the other 4, marinated and seasoned and everything. Let them sit for a few hours, and then brought them up to room temp, put them on the grill, gave them a nice sear, sat them on the top shelf to slow cook, and then I did grilled corn for the first time. I'd never done it, so this was a trip.
I was gonna say I've never grilled corn either. I don't.
Kate really wanted it, and I'm like, all right. I'll look up how to do it. I'll figure it out. I love cooking on the grill. Don't ask me to bake nothing, but I'm pretty good on the grill. I'm pretty good. So I had, you got to have one of them like extra trays, or like you can sit it right on the grates, but I feel like it cooks some of the it's like I read online, it cooks some of the kernels a lot faster than the rest of them. So if you can have one of those little like pan things that you sit on the grill top that has the holes all in it and everything and lets it slow cook through. They said put it in that, and then I just, because I was so afraid of like overcooking it and turning into popcorn, you know what I mean? So I kept like going in the house and putting 2 big scoops of butter in a little plastic container and melting it, and then just drizzling it over the corn as it cooked. And then right at the end, I took it out of the little metal container, put it on the grill grates just to give it a little char around the whole thing. And dude, it was like, I am not a corn on the cob fan. I'll
love some corn on the cob.
I will eat that 10 days out of 10 days. And that's all I did. Like, we didn't, like, normally we'll do Old Bay and everything like that. I said, let's just see if it tastes okay. And I mean, it was amazing.
Maybe we should do a cooking show sometime.
It was, dude, I'm down. I'm down. Grab a 30 pack. We'll split a 30 pack.
Hey, we can make a brisket.
We can. Ooh,
make a brisket.
Okay, you are the smoker. You're the smoker.
12-hour live stream of us just drinking a 30 pack of beer and letting the brisket cook.
Yep. We'll have 2 viewers the whole time.
Our wives.
Yes, wondering when's the food going to be done?
What the fuck are they doing?
When's the food going to be done, and how drunk are they right now? But sorry, I had to tell you that was awesome. I was like, man, I got to tell that story on Monday when we do the podcast. So
I've heard of people that will go around in like grocery stores or Costco or BJ's or Sam's Club and like take the tag from
the label,
from that and put it on that and.
Someone in the meat department either.
You didn't do it.
I didn't.
Yeah,
no, so I was I was like.
I didn't know. I didn't even look at the price.
Oh, dude, I'd have been like Al Pacino and Scarface acting up there at that thing.
I'm not paying for your mistake.
If they'd have tried to call me out. Yeah, I just don't even want the steaks no more. Just take them back. Take them back. I'm not putting them back. You take them back. So, but yeah, $85 worth of steaks roughly for $20. I'm like, it's going to be a good day. And it ended, steaks tasted amazing. Potato, my wife, she does, we do pan fried potatoes. So we get them little golden potatoes, cut them in half, season them up, and pan fry them, a little bit of onion. She does, and she'll do some mushrooms and onion on the stovetop too. And like I said, I had the broccoli all season. I do them aluminum tins, do a layer of olive oil, then 1 layer of broccoli, season the broccoli, little season all salt, and some grilling. I actually use some steak seasoning on top. Little more olive oil, then another layer, and then just fold it over. And I don't even sit it on an active burner. I just sit it in the corner because it still heats up in there, and that cooks right through. Just as long as when the steaks are done, the broccoli's done. I don't know how, but it works out perfect timing to where the broccoli, you're not biting into like an actual stalk, but it's not too mushy either.
Funny story. My daughter, Aubrey, just turned 4 earlier in the month, and what she wanted for dinner on her birthday was broccoli. She had broccoli for dinner.
Love that.
just like a whole plate of broccoli.
That's what I said. Just broccoli, Dad.
She loves broccoli.
Really? Wow.
So
I'm just not a vegetable person in general. So when I met Kate, like, she eats all this fruit, she eats all these vegetables all the time. I'm like, no, I'm good. So I had to invent ways to be able to tell my doctor, yeah, I eat vegetables.
I'll eat a salad every once in a while.
So green beans, my mother gave me this recipe, like string beans and stuff like that.
I do like green beans.
I only like them the way I do them. I don't like regular green. No. So you put a little bit of water into like a deeper frying pan, put it on a stovetop, medium heat, not to boil the water, just to get it warm. Brown sugar, and then cut up bacon bits. Not cooked bacon bits, uncooked bacon, because it cooks in there. And then just you You put all the green beans in and you keep it going. You keep churning. The brown sugar kind of sticks to the green beans. The bacon cooks as it goes. Chef's kiss. Easiest thing in the world to do, too.
I gotta try that.
You don't need a whole pack of bacon. You might need 6 strips of bacon. And then you like bacon bits. You chop it up into bacon bits, right? And like I said, a little bit of water because the water helps with the steam. But you put the brown sugar in, and it's just like a sweet, salty layer on the green.
All right,
beans.
so I'll make the brisket. You make the green beans.
Oh, I can do that. Yeah, I'll make the green beans and the potatoes and the fried potatoes on top. Yeah, I could eat. I'm sitting there like, so when we do dinners, like we'll put them little the pot warmer things right on the table, and I just put the whole damn pan on it. Like I'm not. It's just me and her.
Yeah.
I'm not putting it in a whole nother container and dirty and something else. So we just sit there, and I was done my plate, and I'm still picking out the pan from the potatoes. I said I could eat the rest of these right now. I could eat every last one of these right now. So, but we had enough left over that she had a whole lunch. She had a whole nother steak, broccoli. She cut the corn off the cob because for some reason it doesn't last more than a day on the cob. It just doesn't taste right after that. And then leftover potatoes, and we had enough for her to make 2 big containers of it. So I had one for lunch, and she had one for lunch today. So
nice.
Yep. So we definitely got our fills worth. That's for sure.
There we go.
Sorry.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No. Let's wrap it up.
All right.
Let's wrap it up. This might be one of our longest episodes.
Like, share, subscribe.
Yeah. Please. We're still sitting under 50. We want to get over 50.
Yep.
Love to get over 50.
That would be great.
Yeah, man.
So that's it. That's all we got. Let's
try
the button.
Yeah, go ahead.
Over under.
2 tries at least.
All right. Here we go.